All right, let's get started. Yes, sir. It's your boy Keys Ali, and welcome to the Ali and Smoke Show. This is Meet My Friend. As it says at the top of the screen, this is season 3. I've been doing Meet My Friends for about 2 or 3 years now, where I meet very interesting people along my journey, and I want you to meet them too. Now, everybody's not my friend, but Mr. Avery Brown, I consider as my friend because he's just the coolest motherfucker I've met in a very long time. And his knowledge of movies and television shows are amazing. We did a Satoma TV championship with Mr. Avery Brown after meeting him. I'm not going to lie. I specifically made that just to have him on camera because I wanted him to be a part of some content that I was on. And during that piece, man, he was just so knowledgeable and long-winded. Most people say long-winded in a negative way. I enjoy it because I learn when this man talks. So today we're going to learn a little bit about him. We're going to learn about what makes him tick, what it means to be a TV and movie reviewer, and if you're interested in doing what he does, hopefully he tells you enough to get you started. He's not going to tell you all his secrets. He's not going to tell you everything that gets him going, but he's going to give you enough to get yourself going. Mr. Avery Brown, how are you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing really good, man. I'm glad to be here. I really appreciate y'all for bringing me on for this good conversation. And I'm excited, man.
No problem. I want to let everybody know we are recording in the morning. So Mr. Avery Brown did wake up to be with us on this beautiful Sunday morning. Thank you very, very much, man.
No problem.
Very much.
No problem.
We're going to get started with the basics, man. It's the basics. I mean, I know this information already from you, but I want everybody to know as much as they can about you in this short time that I get to spend with you. So, man, let's start off really quickly. We know your name is Mr. Avery Brown, but who are you? Where are you from? And what makes you, you? You can start with the first question. Let's go.
Yeah. So, hey, everybody. I'm Avery. I'm a close friend to so many people. I'm a brother, biological brother to one sister. I'm an adopted brother to many. A Rolodex of people. It's a very long list. And I'm just a person that's trying to be better in life. I know that's a cliche, but I genuinely mean it. I'm trying to extend more empathy and all that great stuff when it's needed, but while still being held accountable. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, born and raised. People always hear me talk and they think I'm from like New York or Connecticut.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna cut you off and tell you why. Because when they hear me talk, they say that country motherfucker's from South Carolina. The way you pronounce everything, the way that you speak, man, it does give like, man, you was taught well, or either you not from here. So that's probably why.
Right. I think it's probably just because I guess being brought up in music circles and in theater and stuff like that. I actually went to this place, just a side note, when I was in middle school, a place called Dreams Unlimited. And they actually taught us diction and how to sit at a table and what forks to use and all that stuff. For that brief time, I thought I was going to be a male model, yeah, it was an interesting time.
I did something like that. I was in a group called Save Our Sons. It was a mentoring program when I was a kid. And they brought us in and told us how to, how to speak and how to set the dinner table and how to treat a woman. It was really like one of those big brother, little brother programs.
Right.
I remember the forks, but that's probably all I got out of it.
Right. I definitely just got the forks. I was like, okay, I know how to set them out and do all that. We had a binder and all that stuff. And
wow.
It was an interesting time. Right on Malden Road here in Greenville. It was hilarious.
I might need to go back by there for a refresher or something for myself.
Same, because I was like 11 when I did it. I'm 28 now. I need more training because yikes.
Yeah, man, it's not the norm anymore. I know what I have sons and I haven't seen anything like that to put them back in. So I don't know if they're going away or that it's not marketed to anyone anymore. But that's really cool. Now you said a musician, man. Let's talk about that just a little bit. A musician, what you're a rapper, Mr. Avery Brown? You spitting bars?
No. No, I do. I have a lot of friends, most that have been on Satoma Radio. Shout out to my bro Chemo. They are rappers and stuff like that. And I thought I wanted to be a rapper at one point, but no. Maybe more poetry. I've done that a time or two at Coffee Underground. But my area of music is more on piano. I've been playing the piano since I was about 6 years old. first learned from my godmother. If she watches this, love you. Um, and then I got formal training at the Fine Arts Center here in Greenville, it's across from Wade Hampton High School. When I was in high school, I went there for 2 years. And just playing in different places.
Did you play in the church?
I did play in church as well.
Quick question. I have a question about playing in
Yeah,
church, right? How do you know when they hit it for the preacher? You know how they be like, dun, dun, and he be saying certain words. How do you know?
right. It's like well, for me, because I'm not wired that way. I would say I didn't grow up in a church like that.
Okay.
Like that was like more the Pentecostal type. My church, we were
Yeah.
more reserved. It was like the equivalent of like a Redemption or New
Okay.
Spring.
Okay.
This is more, now I have friends who play in those circles. I'm not that kind of musician to call for that. I'm not. I
You
never
can't
have been.
back up the preacher with the dun dun. All right now, dun dun. Oh,
Mm,
no. Oh,
mm-mm.
man.
I would start playing something more like classical or like a movie score.
You had a preacher looking at you like, what's
Like,
wrong with
what
this
is
young man?
that?
Get him out of here. I
Like,
need
yeah,
somebody to
yeah.
back me up.
I'm not that kind of musician at all. I maybe one time I had to do it, and it went well. But call
It's not.
somebody
It's
else.
not. Not your thing. So,
That's
what
not my
makes
thing.
you, Mr. Avery Brown? What
Yeah.
makes you who you are?
Honestly, I think that the fact that I am so consistent in art and in those spaces, it really guides how I live my life, how I see the world, how I got my friendships, even people that I'm not friends with. I think of everybody as a soul, everybody as a human. Um, and being in art circles for so long, most of us that are creatives and artists, like we see the world differently. So I think it really makes up the DNA of Mr. Avery Brown. And I think that's why people gravitate towards me so quickly. Because I don't push myself out there like with a sign held up like I need new friends, I need more friends.
Yeah.
I have never had to do that in my life. People have just naturally come to me. And I think and they stay with me. Like I as of right now, I can say I'm a godfather to quite a few kids because
Oh man.
when you live your life with kindness. Now we cut up, we laugh, and all that X, Y, and Z. But I think when you live in that kindness space, people trust you, and I think when that extends to the role of a godfather, that's a different type of trust because people don't
Mhm.
just casually give out that title. So
No, we do not. No, we do
yeah,
not.
so I don't have kids myself. I don't really plan on it because I don't have time for that.
No kids,
Um,
no marriage, none of that.
no, mm-mm,
Oh
mm-mm,
no, man.
no, no,
I
no,
thought
no,
you was gonna
no,
make somebody happy one day, man.
no, no, no. I'm comfortable with watching other people's kids and sending them right back home.
You
Buying
the
their gifts
uncle.
for them.
You
I'm
the
Uncle
uncle.
Avery, Mr. Avery Brown, the uncle. Babysit them. You can play Coco Melon all day and send you right back home. Um,
Ain't
yeah.
nothing wrong with it.
So
Ain't nothing wrong
that's
with it.
me.
So let's get into this, man. I called you the movie guru myself, as you see above your
I
head.
see
I
that.
called you the movie guru, the TV guru. But let's talk about what you do as a TV and movie reviewer. Let's talk about
Mhm.
your first time out, man. Can you tell us like the first full review that you did? Like
Yeah.
what made you do it? How did you select that show? How did you select that movie? What happened? Tell us, man. Tell us how it all started, man.
Man, literally, I had to search for this when you sent me this question. Um, it was July 15th
Mhm.
of 2021. Like randomly, I was just like, okay, today's the day I'm about to start posting reviews because, for years prior to that, I would always talk about movies and TV shows with my friends and just people who would listen.
Mhm.
And people were like, oh my God, you should start a review channel and all that. And I still watch other YouTubers today. Like I genuinely enjoy the art of it. Um, but the first movie I reviewed was and it wasn't an audible review. It wasn't in video form. It was just I took a screenshot of this movie, the American Gangster movie,
Mhm.
with Denzel
That's a good.
Washington.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was good.
That's a good one,
And
man.
he portrayed Frank Lucas, of course, a true story and all that.
Oh yeah, that
Do
was
your
great.
research, people. If you don't know about Frank Lucas, he lived quite a life.
Yeah, do your
Uh,
Googles. Do your
yeah,
Googles,
do your
people.
Googles. But excuse me. Yeah, I just posted an image of that movie poster, and I just wrote like a quick 3 4 sentence review. It definitely wasn't as detailed as I make them now. Um, the editing on it was horrible. I was just doing this off the rip. And I just posted it, and people were like, "Oh my god!" I had somebody comment. They said that I haven't seen this movie in years, and your review, because you didn't spoil the movie, made me want to go back and rewatch this.
We gotta talk about it a little bit later about
Yeah,
spoiling the movie. Now,
yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. When I first seen American Gangster, I thought it was the greatest movie of all time. I'm not a Jay
yeah.
Z fan per se, but Jay Z, like the American Gangster Jay Z put out that kind of. It wasn't the soundtrack for the movie,
Right,
but it was like he had put it out right there with the movie. It made everything a whole lot more better. And
right.
then this is just a curveball I'm gonna throw at you. Is it me or like is it easier for actors to portray other people? Like those type of movies are always like better to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a Michael B. Jordan fan at all.
Hmm.
But Fruitvale Station is to me it's his greatest movie, and it's not because of him. It's just because of the story. The
Right,
story is so touching. So
right.
I'm not taking anything from Denzel because Denzel is the man. But man, American Gangster, the way he played it out, every piece of that movie is amazing, and the way it
Absolutely,
was scored, everything is amazing.
absolutely.
Now let's talk about the television show. What was the first
Yeah.
television show that you took a swing at?
Oh man. Again, that was another random one. I was just thinking back to my childhood, and I was like, there's so many different shows that I watched growing up. But this one in particular, the LL Cool J show, In the House.
I don't even remember LL Cool J having a show.
A lot of people don't. I mean, like honestly, they don't. Like unless you just intentionally look on IMDb, like you really would not know. Like it's currently on HBO Max. It's been on there for a while, but
Okay.
people really forgot, like, because it came out like 95, and that was a time where so many other shows were on, and In the House kind of slipped through the cracks. But yeah, it was
What was that show
on.
about? Like, what was it
He
about? Was
was
he
a
like
football player,
okay?
and I believe he was injured or something, and he was in his house, and he had some tenants come in. They wanted to live there with him. So he kind of goes through these different adventures of trying to recover and trying to get back in the NFL or
Mhm.
something like that, and trying to stay relevant because he didn't want to lose his relevance. So
Okay.
um,
So
yeah.
when you did these two, you said you just jumped out there. People had basically, I call it gassed you up. People had gassed you up to
Mhm.
jump out there and try it. If there's people that are like nervous, like they have nerves, like man, I don't know if I want to do this. Like what can you tell them to make to push them on a little further?
Just do it. I mean, because as nervous as you may be, which those nerves are real, I get it. Just post it. Like these days go by so fast, man. Like there are a lot of creatives that sit down on stuff because they don't know how to be received. They don't know if there's an audience for it.
Hmm.
There's over 8 billion people on this planet and in this universe. Somebody will watch it. Somebody will appreciate it. Like
Yeah.
I guarantee you that. So just post it. I get it. The internal thoughts of, well, I don't know. Yeah, just post it.
What about speaking to that? Not knowing how to be received and not knowing if there's going to
Yeah.
be an audience for it. Have you ever posted something and haven't received the interactions that you wanted, and then you take it down and repost it later on, or you just like it's there, go find it when you find it?
The second option, I'll post it and then just leave it because
Okay.
a lot of what we think is people not seeing it is really just the algorithm on these apps not allowing it to be seen.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to
because
put it.
it's, and it can create an insecurity in people for, and granted, I understand because we live in a digital age and
Yeah,
there's so much information, there's so much content out because
it's
you want your stuff to be viral. I mean, you want it to be seen. I get that. But again, it's just a matter of just keeping the consistency wheel, keeping it posted. Post at least something every day, every hour if you want to. You can even pre-schedule posts and all that. But
mm-hmm.
a lot of that is just the algorithm. Even if you pay for a post to be seen, there's no guarantee it'll be seen on that too.
Yeah,
So
correct.
just
Now
post
look,
it and just be diligent in sharing it. Share it. What I found out is more people, because most people will look at your stories, post it on your story and just the link there, it'll be there and people will see it. People will see it.
yeah, that is true. That is true. Now looking back today, how
Mhm.
would you rank your American Gangster and your In the House review? When looking back at it, would you be like, "Oh man, I was doing my thing," or you like, "Man, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, did that a little bit different"?
Even though it was only a year ago, I would give myself probably like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 with those
Okay,
reviews.
it's a
Because
little
it
rough, man. It's a little rough on your
yeah,
stuff.
like because I didn't go into full detail on how I really wanted to. I was just in the moment, just like a spontaneous thing, like, let me just get this out here.
Mhm.
Because people have literally been telling me and asking me, like, hey, when are you gonna start this movie and TV review channel? Like I felt like a push to just do it in that moment. So but I would definitely revisit those two and give them a full summarized review without spoilers um, at some point in the future.
Now, when it comes to your newer reviews, I see you walk in, you say, "Hey, I'm here to see this particular movie. Let you know what
Mhm.
I think about it when I leave." Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Are you ever nervous to pull your camera out with like a bunch of people around and be like, "Yo, it's Mr. Avery Brown"? Is that nerves? Or you just like, you know what? This is what I do. Y'all gonna see me do it. Like, what's the thought process before pulling that camera out, man?
It's a little bit of both
Okay.
because some people are like, what is he doing?
Mhm.
But then I have found out literally like doing the reviews at the theater, at the Regal Theater, or at the Camelot Cinema here in Greenville. Most people are like, yeah, man, those reviews, like, yeah, you're getting it in, getting the content in. Because it's something like when people know and they can hear what you're talking about, because we live in a content based
Yeah.
age and it's been like the last 15 years.
Hmm.
They already know why I'm pulling this camera out. And I've had people come up to me and be like, hey, and it starts conversation for me, where they're like, I've had at least 7 or 8 people ask me, hey, what's your channel? What are you on Instagram? Like, what are
Yeah.
you on Twitter? Like, it's so interesting. So my nerves sometimes, I'm like, okay, do I want to do this right now while they're here? But I'm like, man, whatever.
This is what.
Um,
Next question. I know it's
yeah,
another curveball. Do you have a selfie stick? Like, do you put it on a stick and hold it out, or
I
you just
do.
like?
I have a few different ones.
You
I
are a
sure do.
professional, man. You are a professional
I keep
at
them in
what
my
you
book
do.
bag. I sure do. I have ones at different sizes. I have my to go tripod that I keep. I have my ring light. Um, I even have a small ring light that I put on my actual phone. I have a separate ring light that I put on my iPad for on the go because you can't haul around that big ass
Yeah,
ring
yeah,
light
nah,
all the
yeah.
time. So yeah, oh yeah,
Y'all
we're
hear that?
stocked.
Y'all hear that? People that want to be reviewers, man, don't be afraid to pull the camera out at the
Listen,
movie theater and have your equipment ready to go.
have it
Have it.
ready.
Now, the next thing we're going to talk about for people that want to be a reviewer are the rules and regulations to this thing, man.
Hmm.
What are the three main rules when being a movie or a TV reviewer that and I'm saying that people need to know? Like, don't
Yeah.
do this. Tell them, man, Mr. Avery Brown, tell them what they need to do.
One, own your uniqueness.
Mhm.
It's okay to glean from others and be inspired by them because, as I mentioned before, I'm very inspired by other YouTubers, YouTube channels like Screen Rant. There's an honest trailer YouTube channel. They do honest trailers to all different types of movies and stuff. So, and I still enjoy watching them. because I'm always inspired by other creatives and it pushes me to create. But when you get into your niche and your thing,
Your
whatever it
bag.
is, yeah, get into your bag.
Get in your bag.
Like
Yeah.
literally own your uniqueness. It doesn't have to look like someone else's template. Just be organically you. That's what
Mhm.
I would say first. Owning your uniqueness. The second thing is have fun while you're doing it.
Yep.
Like live in the moment, because the moments they're gonna pass. Again, these days go by so quick, man.
So quickly, man.
So just have fun while you're doing it. And the third thing is, if it's not organically reviewed or created, don't post it. If it's, I would rather go a week without any content posted than to try to force post something
Okay.
if I'm not organically feeling it. If you know
Yes,
you're
sir.
not in a good headspace in that moment, a good mental space, because people feel that energy. And
You're
people
right.
think that doesn't translate through mobile apps, but it does.
It does.
It
It
does. You
does.
can feel when someone on Instagram is going through a traumatic moment in life because the energy is like, "What? This is not
Yeah. I've watched
this."
23 of your videos, and this one is a little bit off.
Yeah,
I get
like
it.
real talk. Yeah, like just protect your mental space. It's okay. You don't have to. I know we're in this. I had posted recently on Twitter that I think a lot of us are dealing with like hypersensitive overload or like sensory overload
Okay.
because we have so much content coming out and we feel this pressure to post every day. But then mentally, some people are not doing well and they push that energy out. But just let it organically hit you and then post whatever you're posting, whatever your content is. If you're cooking, you're playing an instrument, you're rapping, you're selling something, just give your body a chance to breathe
Hmm.
and then just post it organically, and then I think it'll be received better that way.
As a content creator myself, what do you think about this? Is something that I do.
Mhm.
Stockpiling content for those bad days because
Mm,
everybody's going to have those bad days. But what
yeah,
I do is I record 2 or 3 things, in a week or in a time span. So when something does happen, then it's like,
yeah,
okay, I got this to grow up. So I can still stay consistent, but I'm not forcing content out during those bad times.
absolutely,
Would you?
absolutely.
Okay,
I
okay,
agree. I agree with that. That way you do still have the consistency and content ready to post if it's not a good day for you. Absolutely. When you know you're in a good headspace, go ahead and double up on the content.
knock it out.
Like, yeah, because life is going to do what it does at the most random times.
Correct. Now, one thing that I heard you say 2 or 3 times here today, I saw you on other YouTube channels say it as well. Spoiling it. Do not spoil the movie
Hmm.
with your reviews. Why is that such an important thing?
Because honestly, some people they don't want to already know about the movie before they go in to watch it. Like, or even with a TV show. Like, and I know that can be weird with TV shows because we do live tweet stuff
Mhm.
um
All the time.
all the time. I mean, come on.
All the time. I'm
Like,
every Monday, Friday, and Wednesday night. I live tweet wrestling fan. I can't help it. It's
yeah,
not like I want to do it. I'm just watching it,
it
and I
just
gotta get these
happens.
gotta get these
Right.
thoughts off. Gotta get these
Right.
bars
Because
off.
we're living, and Twitter is amazing for that because it's
Love it.
been since day one. I've been on Twitter since 2009. It's always been a great thing to live tweet events. But
Hmm.
sometimes you do have to just like give people who don't want that pre-exposure to something, just give them the decency to let them appreciate it or hate it on
But
their own.
how long do we gotta wait, man? Because like Black Panther 2 came out, right? And I've seen it 3 times and cried 9 times. That movie's amazing to me. How long should we wait until you know, like how long we gotta wait for other people? Because I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it
Yeah,
now. When it
right.
first come out, I get the first night, maybe not Thursday, maybe
Mhm.
not Friday, maybe not that weekend. But how long do we gotta wait, Mr. Avery Brown, before we start talking about the greatness of the Black Panther?
Oh man. Well, with Black Panther and with any movie that's gonna get worldwide attention, I would just suggest for those that don't want to see those spoilers, just to mute that hashtag,
Yeah.
mute the words. You can do that on Twitter for sure.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can do that on Facebook. I think you can on Instagram. Just don't read the captions on Instagram because they'll spoil it.
I'm a
Yeah, so
spoiler. I know I spoil things. I try not, but like I can't help it sometimes.
it's okay. It's
Like
okay, and there's nothing wrong with spoiling something. There's nothing wrong with that.
it was somebody that had, I think you haven't seen Black Panther 2 yet, have you?
As of right now, no, I have not yet.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going to.
There's an Angela Bassett like monologue
Mm-hmm.
that gives you chills. It makes you
Yeah,
cry. Like
I believe it.
every
Now I will say
oh man.
I have seen the original trailer, the
Mhm.
first trailer they released for it, with the everything's gonna be all right in the background,
Yeah.
with the Kendrick Lamar line.
Yeah.
That trailer alone already had me crying.
Man, thank you. I'm not the only person. Thank
Yeah,
you.
like I cried real bad. I was like, man, this is a lot, and I knew it was gonna be a lot because they were paying tribute to Chadwick. So I said, I know when I go in that theater to watch it, I plan to go see it soon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be crying.
Get your
And,
Kleenexes ready, man. Y'all want to
yeah.
cry in your popcorn, fam. I cried in my popcorn. The first time I was with two of the homies, and I tried my best to like,
try to hold it in, right?
I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't do
Yeah.
it. Now, are reviews different from like rankings and ratings, or was it one and the same? Because I don't think I've ever seen you say I give this movie, a 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 10. So is it the same? Is it different?
Right.
Like, talk to me about that.
They are different. I would say the reviews typically just give a summary of the film or TV show
without spoiling it.
Yeah.
All right.
Now to rank it would be to put it in a specific order. So if you have a set of TV shows, you would rank them from best to worst or worst to best. And then the same with movies. You place them in their rank of importance,
Gotcha.
or good to bad.
Now, that's my next question for you, to rank some of the best movies and worst movies of 2022. But is that something that you are looking into doing like every year? Like, you know how Spotify has a year-end wrap-up, and most people have like an album of the year wrap-up. Do you ever think to have like a 2022 best and worst list from Avery Brown?
Absolutely. That's in the works right now as we speak.
Okay, well, we ain't gonna ask for the whole list. We're not gonna ask for the whole list, but we do want some of the best and worst watches of 2022 from Mr. Avery Brown. All right, give me just 3 good, 3 bad, and a little, without spoiling it. give me a little bit about each one. Start with your first movie. The good. Let's start with good.
All right. The first good movie that I saw this year would have to be the movie Moonfall. It came out back in February of 2022. The reason I picked that one is because it does take you on like a sci-fi adventure if you're into that type of thing, like artificial intelligence, living beings on other universes, which we all know it already exists, things like that. Although I would say it's not a new movie in terms of the topic, because we've seen that kind of stuff for years. I, Robot, Independence Day, and all the alien movies, Men in Black.
You must be a Will Smith fan. He just said 3 Will Smith movies, man.
I am a fan. We'll talk about that.
Okay, all right.
he has good movies. I cried real bad at Pursuit of Happiness.
Let's pause. Let's pause, because here we go, meeting again in the middle. The scene in the subway.
Oh,
I boo-hoo.
It's so bad.
I cried in the movies. I cried at home. I cried watching on the laptop.
So bad. There's so much in that scene. That imaginary world to running in the bathroom and his leg up against the door, and that person at the door, I'm like, man, listen, just go somewhere.
Go away.
Please go away. Don't make me cry on camera right now.
I'm telling you, it's so sad. Like, go away. Leave him alone.
Yeah, but the contrast to that at the end, when he's walking out of the building after he gets the promotion, this is not a spoiler because everybody's seen that movie.
Everybody's seen that scene, man.
When he's walking out and he's like, this part of my life is called happiness.
Tears. Waterworks, man.
I was like, man, listen.
Have you ever had a moment like that when you just like, like you just want to scream, man? Will
Absolutely.
Will that's one of my favorite Will Smith movies. But sorry,
Same.
that's your list. You had
Same.
Moonfall on there. Who was in Moonfall? I feel like I've seen the trailer for this.
Um, Holly Berry, she was in it.
Okay.
I don't know why she was in it, to be honest. I think that was just to keep people interested.
I mean, Billy. I mean, Halle Berry ain't been right since the whole Billy Bob Thornton thing, but we gonna move on
Yeah,
from that.
it's been yeah.
What's the second? What's
Uh,
the second one you got on your list here?
the Jordan Peele movie, Nope. It
Really?
came out back in July.
On your good
Uh,
list? This is on good.
no, this is good. This is good.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I
Um,
mean, I've been teetering watching Nope because
I
Jordan
know.
Peele. What was the one with the tea glass?
The Get Out.
Get Out. To me, Get Out was all right. It
Mm.
wasn't the best. And then This Is Us, I think is the name of it. I watched it for the dad. I think it was Winston Duke, if I'm not mistaken, played
Oh
the
yeah, the
dad.
movie Us. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Us.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was all right. And it was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna give Jordan Peele another chance with this Note. But you're telling me it's one of the best movies of the year.
It is in my top.
Without
I would say
spoiling it,
my top five.
without spoiling it, tell me why. Tell me why I should watch Nope.
Well, it does take you as Jordan Peele has found his niche in film, coming off the Key and Peele comedy, which is really interesting how that goes from that to what he's created, him and his team. Um, this is a movie, another one of his movies with a hidden message.
Okay.
I would tell people, you don't have to think too deep about it. Some of the messages are hidden, some are open. Of course, it takes you on a journey. That's just him. That's just part of his thing. And it is. I think it's a movie that people have to sit with. The first time that I watched the Get Out movie, it's something you have to sit with, and you don't have to understand it right away with the movie Nope. I don't think it's meant to be understood right away. I think it's a movie that you can grow with. And if you understand it, that's great. Because I'm still like, even though came out in July, like even now in December, as we're talking about this, there's still parts of the movie that I'm still thinking through. So I don't think it's a one-time watch. This movie is good or bad type thing. I think it's a movie that you grow with. They had the same. They had the same kind of commentary for Tim Burton when he would do remakes and stuff like that, or even dig into different topics, because he wasn't a traditional
Yeah,
filmmaker.
traditional filmmaker.
He redid the Willy Wonka, and his movies have always been more dark theme, more emo and stuff. And people were like, it's like, what is he doing? He's remaking Willy Wonka. No, what is he doing? Why is it so morbid and ugly? But people have their niche for things, and I think they find their lane. So all that to say, I think Nope is a movie. It does take you on a journey. So I would recommend watching it.
I think it's on Peacock now for free, so I might watch it. I might watch it because I'm not gonna lie, I avoided it in the movie theater. I was like, nope.
Right, I understand. It's had some mixed reviews, but the same thing happened with Us. Like his movie, Jordan Peele's movie, Us. It was the same thing. Jordan Peele has found out how to capture people with a trailer, and then once the movie comes out, it's up to people's opinion on how they critique it. So, which that is the point of art in general. Like, we can definitely critique it. Absolutely.
Yeah. His trailers are always on point to get you in to watch it. And then, like you said, once you get there, it's up to you. Give me that third one. This time, give me a TV show. Give me a TV series.
Yes. There's a TV series on Netflix. It's Scream. Scream, the TV series. It's based off the Scream horror movies.
Really?
Yeah, it's currently on Netflix. It's like from like 2015. I think it captures the attention well. Of course, those Scream movies they already did.
Yeah.
Just Ghostface and all that. If you're into horror shows, I think you'll be into that series. And I will also say it doesn't have to be your favorite genre. Horror doesn't have to be your favorite genre for you to enjoy this show. It translates well too, because sometimes that can be weird with horror movies kind of doing full series. Sometimes that doesn't translate the best, but yeah,
Did you
it came
catch
out in like 2015. It was pretty
did,
good.
did you check the Chucky series when it came out?
Um,
I think it's on
no,
USA.
no, I hadn't watched that one.
I didn't
How
know
was
if I
that?
wanted to. Like I have my idea of what Chucky is, Chucky's
Mhm.
Bride. I'm cool with that. I just don't know what they're doing with that. But anyway, let's go three bad, three bad, three bad. Start off with the three bad for me.
Um, okay, the first one, the Jeepers Creeper
Okay.
Reborn movie. It came out in September of this
Yeah.
year. Horrible.
Not worth it. Not
It
worth
was
it.
supposed to be a scary movie. Uh, it didn't. They didn't connect the storyline.
Okay.
Some people that were killed in the movie. Uh, it didn't feel like they were really dying. It was almost kind of funny to a degree. I was like, this is not a scary movie. I mean, it's not that we have to compare it to like a Saw or a scary movie or Halloween or whatever. But I would expect like Jeepers Creeper. When I hear Jeepers Creeper, I'm thinking, oh, this is about to be really, really
Yeah,
scary.
it should have made me jump scare movies.
Yeah. It was like that one Halloween remake or Texas Chainsaw Massacre they did where Trey Songz was in it.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I was like,
Trey
first
Songz
of
was there to
all,
pull us in though. You know, Trey
yeah, I
Songz
was
was there
like,
for
first
us.
of all, what is he doing in this movie? This was really bad. That's on my list of bad movies too. Don't watch that one.
What else you got for me on that bad list?
There's a show. There's a show on CBS called How We Roll.
Okay, well, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah,
Is
that's
anyone
why.
starring in it that we know?
Let me look up the cast list real
Okay.
quick because that show was actually canceled, so that tells you
Oh
all you need to know
wow.
about that. It was bad.
Gotcha.
There was a Taj Mowry was in it. He's the brother of Tia and Tamara Mowry.
My smart guy. He's a
Hmm.
smart guy. Oh
Hmm.
wow. I was just asking somebody about him the other day.
Yeah, he was randomly in that. The guy from the Roll Bounce movie, Chi McBride, he was Bow Wow's
Okay.
dad.
Yeah.
He was in there. I don't know why he was in there. Um,
People need jobs, man.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean,
You gotta
actors
pay
they
the
got to work
bills.
too.
Yeah.
This show was not good.
What is it about?
He's a professional bowler.
Oh wow.
The lead guy, Pete Holmes, he's playing the guy named Tom, and he is a professional actor. Cheryl Lee Ralph, she's in it.
Okay.
Thankfully she got on Abbott Elementary because that was how we rolled. Just wasn't. It only had 11 episodes. It wasn't a show that needed to be.
So was it like one of those like comedy relief shows? Was it like
It
a
was supposed to
drama?
be comedic. Yeah, it was supposed to
Okay.
be comedy.
And so it wasn't funny at all.
They had some spots in there where it was funny, but the storyline wasn't consistent for what they were
Gotcha.
supposed to be talking about. If he's supposed to be a professional bowler, kind of stick with that.
Gotcha.
And it just kind of it kind of flopped.
What else is on your list? What's the third movie?
There
you
was a
have?
show. Some people may be familiar with it. 50 Cent was the producer, one of the producers on this called For Life.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Mm,
Come on, it's 50 on ABC though, fam. It's 50 on ABC. That was enough for me.
He had and that's what initially caught my attention. Because
It's 50 on
me and
ABC.
one of my brothers, Javarius, we were talking about my bro Javarius is an actor too.
Gotcha.
Shout out to him. He's on a show on All Black TV. It's called Hush.
Okay.
He's playing a Hispanic guy named Alejandro.
Okay.
It's interesting. But that show For Life on ABC, the first season was good. You know, the whole premise of the show, without spoiling it, is this guy is in jail and he's struggling to get out, and that whole process and all that. Lots of things happen in between that time of him getting out, and you'll see it throughout the course of the show. I wouldn't say don't watch the first season. I would still recommend it. They only had 2 seasons, so I would still say watch it if you want to. But if you call a show For Life, I would assume that you are going to be in this place for life.
Yeah.
Now the second season comes on and he is not there.
Okay.
Even for the little time that he is in there, it just I feel like there was a disconnect with
Disconnected.
season 2.
50 probably was focused too much on their Power universe.
Yeah, and that's the thing. 50 Cent, he works better with the power stuff and with the BMF. Like that's more
But we got to give 50 a
of
look.
his niche.
He want to get out the box though, man.
He
Like you
does.
said,
He
power,
does.
drugs, sex, you know what I'm saying,
That's
violence. He want to move away. It's
that's what he's
ABC.
known for.
You can't
Yeah.
do Power on ABC.
No, you definitely can't do that. That's for all they had in that show.
Gotcha.
Definitely, but no, I mean I get it, but I think with 50 Cent, because he's been known for those type of movies. Most of us know him, the Get Rich or Die Trying movie.
Yeah.
That was very specific to his life and all that. And the girl who played his love interest in that movie, she was in the show for life.
So he taking care of his homies and all, man.
He is. But the show just it didn't hold up. It was only on for 2 seasons, but
so
if
he's
you
done.
Want to watch it, you can.
There's no more.
No, they're not. They're not coming back.
Oh my! When shows like Blacklist go 9 seasons, I feel like give 50 another season. Like Blacklist is like 9 seasons long, man. It's just like every show you gotta fight another enemy. Whatever, fam.
That show has been on a little bit too long, if you ask me.
I
agree,
long, man. Too damn long, man.
Wow, it's literally like Law and Order at this point. It's like, okay,
Law and Order is good, fam.
Law and Order is good.
Law and Order is good. Blacklist, I'm not rolling.
I hope Carter is watching this. I hope that he's watched an episode of Law and Order by now.
You know what? I'm gonna hit him up today to make sure he's watched one. Let's talk about in the future, man. Let's talk about what's coming up next, man. What shows, new shows that you're looking forward to? New movies that you're looking forward to? What you looking forward to next year, man?
As far as shows right now, there's so many shows, but we don't have enough time to talk about all of them. But I will highlight 2 of them.
Okay.
The show Manifest is on Netflix. They recently got renewed for another season.
Is that when they're in the plane or something like that? Okay.
They were gonna be. It's good. It's actually pretty good. I hadn't, honestly, before they were on Netflix, I had never heard of the show. No, let me take that back. I had heard of the show, but I never actually watched it. But it's something when a show gets put on Netflix, even if it was canceled, like there's something about Netflix that's been like, oh, this has become like our new blockbuster.
Yeah.
So let me watch this. The show may have been canceled, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's Netflix does the same thing for me. I watch Black Lightning on Netflix. I wait till it comes on Netflix. All American, I wait till it comes on Netflix. Like I don't try to catch it anymore on TV. It's like, you know what, it'll come on Netflix and I can watch
it'll be on Netflix. I'm same with that, and Hulu. Like there's shows on there that I know are gonna be on Hulu, and like
just wait for it.
Just wait, yeah. So Manifest is pretty good. There's another show on there called The Upshaws. Mike Epps.
I do not like that show, man.
You don't like The Upshaws? Oh man,
I feel like it's forced, man. I feel like it's forced.
I love that show.
I can. And Wanda Sykes.
Yeah. Like Mike Epps, Wanda Sykes. I think Kim Fields is in there as well.
Yeah.
I think it's great comedy. I think that's what makes a show consistent, because all between the 3 of them, you're gonna laugh. And I had a chance to see Mike Epps in person at Bon Secours a few years ago, and it was hilarious. That was something I could check off my bucket list too, because I was like, I need to see him. I got to see Wanda Sykes too. She came to Bon Secours a few years ago.
My problem is I want raunchy Mike Epps and Wanda Sykes. Like I want
like Friday.
Yeah. And I feel like that show was like an ABC show. Like they can't go off the script like that. So it was like, man, I don't know if I really enjoy this. I want nasty Wanda Sykes. I want raunchy Mike Epps. I want uncensored comedy. That's my thing.
Now, Mike, they do. I believe both of them have some comedy specials online.
Oh yeah, I've watched them.
Okay.
Are you a comedy special guy? Like, do you sit back at home and watch? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dion Cole has a new one that's pretty fucking hilarious.
I've watched that one. It's hilarious.
There's a guy from the UK, Mo Brown, Mo something. I can't think of his name. It's like Mo Brown. He's from the
Mhm.
UK. Check him out too. Pretty
I will
fucking
check
funny
him
on
out. Yeah,
Netflix.
I'm huge comedy, but that's Marlon Wayans' recent one on HBO. That one was really good.
He has a new one.
Um, yeah, he has one with him, Tony Baker, his cousin Shantae Wayans, DC Urban. Um, it's on HBO.
Okay,
It's really good.
definitely
Now,
checking that out.
man, I'm an advocate for, and I've had this conversation with people, um, where the gatekeepers, some people feel like I can only listen to the gatekeepers in an industry or whatever. I'm like, I like supporting new people too. You know.
I mean, it's kind of hard though because on
Mhm.
HBO, what's his name? Keenan. I can't think of his name right now. His last name from Keenan and Kel.
Yeah, Keenan Thompson. Yeah.
Keenan Thompson. He had a TV show. I think it was on ABC.
Hmm.
Where I think he was like raising his daughters, and his like brother was his roommate. Are you familiar
Yes.
with that show?
Yes.
The
Yes.
brother has a stand up.
Hmm.
I won't click on it. I just don't think he's funny. The girl from Insecure, Molly.
Yeah. I
Molly
saw
has a
hers on
stand up.
HBO. Yes.
10 minutes in, I cut it off. Like,
Really?
yes, man. It's like you ruining Molly for me. You know who I think needs a stand up, and maybe she already has it and I haven't seen it. The other friend from Insecure. I cannot think of her name.
The one that she said the famous line, like, you know what I call that, growth.
Yeah,
Is
yeah, yeah. Her.
I
I
don't
can't think of-
think she has one,
She is fucking
but
hilarious
she
too,
is
man.
hilarious.
She's like
She
one of
is
the main
hilarious.
reasons I watch Insecure.
Yeah, she was hilarious. She played Kelly. She
Kelly,
played
that's her
Kelly on
name.
there. She doesn't have. I'm looking on her IMDb now. She
Yeah,
doesn't have
I
a
was trying to
special.
too.
She doesn't have a special yet, but she's been in a lot. Well, she's in the show, the Black Lady Sketch Comedy Show.
Oh,
Yeah, she's in
you
there.
always put me on. You always
Yeah,
put me on,
that's
man.
come on. That's my job. That's part of my job.
You always put. I wish I knew the black English comedian I was telling you about from the UK. I think his name is Mo Gillian. Mo
Mo
Gillian.
Gillian.
Man, that guy. And like sometimes when you watch like other races, that
Hmm.
sounds crazy, but other cultures do
Yeah,
stand-up comedy, you may not can relate to what they're talking about. You'll
right,
laugh at certain things, but other things will
right.
be like, like white folks probably can't relate to everything that black comedians say.
Yeah,
But Mo Gillian, he gives like the UK childhood
the
growing up.
feel right,
Yeah, and he's like, I might not know what he's talking about, but it sounds fucking funny. And then you go back
right,
and you look it up and you laugh. He's on the up and coming, man. He's
right.
on the up and coming.
Like
Here's another.
even to that, even just
uh,
to into that, there's a guy he plays the guitar while doing his comedy special. His name is Morgan J. He's an Indian guy. Um, he is really funny. Um, I would say even just like 2 days ago, I was at the Comedy Zone in downtown Greenville. Michael Blackson.
Yeah, that's
He
that's that's a guy there, man.
he
Legend.
was hilarious, and I was like, "There's no way this man is this close to me, and I'm not going to see him." I've had a chance to see a few different comedians. There's a guy that was on the show, Michael Collier.
Yeah.
I got to see him earlier this year at the Comedy Zone in downtown Greenville. He played somebody in the show, Martin. Those that watch Martin, y'all, he's bald headed guy. Um, y'all love some Martin, but we're not
Yeah,
talking about that
everybody
today.
love it. Everybody love it. That's a callback, by the way, guys. If you haven't seen Satoma TV
Yeah,
Championship,
go
it's on
watch it. Go
Satoma
watch
recording
that.
page. Go watch it, man. They rolled on they love Martin and rolled on Friends like Friends wasn't a classic, but we not
Oh
gonna dig
gosh,
into that.
we
Matter of
are
fact,
not
we
doing
gonna move on before we what's the big plans? What you got coming next, Mr. Avery Brown, man?
that.
Other than watching Friends on repeat, what you got coming, man?
That is not on my list. Um,
I love Friends, man.
oh my goodness, it's forever living single, forever living
All right.
single
That's you, man. That's
in
you.
a '90s kind of world. All right. Anyway, can I just say, just an honorary thing to add to the bad movies? Loving Basketball.
Whoa.
I wasn't even gonna say this, but I feel like the time is right. I was actually gonna post
Whoa.
a review. I am going to post a review about that. Y'all hype up that movie so bad, and it's so so bad
I can't wait to
because
watch this
that's not
review.
love.
I can't.
That
What
is
is it?
not love.
What is it?
That
What is
is manipulation.
Man,
That
people
is
gonna be
not
mad about
love.
that. People gonna be mad
Listen,
about that,
I'm gonna
man.
edit this part of the interview out and post it. I don't. You inbox me.
That is wild. Love and Basketball is a horrible movie.
Yeah, I'll play you for one game for what's your heart. What in the world
It
is this?
kind of it
A
plays on the
casino? Like, wait, you placing bets on somebody
but they
after you
play
have her
basketball. The
chasing
whole
her,
movie's about
chasing him
basketball.
around?
Yeah. Play me for
Mm-mm.
your heart. No, you're not rolling.
No, please, no. I'm sorry, y'all. The
get it
window
though.
was open. I had to say it.
I've heard so many people poke holes in that movie, man. It's not even
Yeah,
funny. It's not
but
even
it's
funny.
interesting. The lady who directed that, and that's just a credit to her. She went, and directors they have different a vast majority of movies. The lady who directed Love and Basketball is the same lady who directed the Woman King movie with Viola Davis.
I want to see that. I still haven't seen that.
Yeah. And that just shows like people can evolve and change.
I can't evolve. Some people, man, said she put out no, people didn't like Woman King.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
were saying like she owned slaves or something like
Own
that.
slaves. Yeah. There's been that whole side conversation with that movie. Even when the trailer first dropped, they were lighting that trailer up in the YouTube comments like, this is slave, but she owns slaves, and it's like, oh yeah. But that's
Yeah.
just the thing of critiquing art. Like it's gonna be received one way or another. So I hope
What do
she
you
turned off her comments.
What do you think about slave movies in general?
Mm.
Like, are you like I'm running like I'm not can't even say it. Emancipation, the Will
Oh, with
Smith
Will
movie.
Smith.
Yeah, you running to watch that?
Um, I haven't seen it yet.
Do you want to see it? Is it on your like I have to see this movie?
It's not on my I have to see, but I will watch it and I'll tell you why. And this will speak to the overall thing because people have asked me that before about slave movies and just movies that deal with events in history. I believe they have a place.
Mhm.
They definitely have a place. And I'm not opposed to watching them. Because I think for a generation that is so consumed with devices,
Mhm.
I think to your earlier point, a movie like Fruitvale Station will translate to a newer generation in a way that makes them aware of issues that have been going on probably longer than some of them have been alive.
Wow, yeah.
So in the same way, because I think really every generation has those movies that speak to the current issues. For my grandparents, it was the movie like Roots.
Mhm.
And then for my parents and my aunties and uncles, they had a movie like a Malcolm X.
Mhm.
And then you go into the 90s, you have a movie like more like when John Singleton first started, or Spike Lee.
Mhm.
They dealt with those issues from one side of the spectrum to another. So I think it's just history repeating itself, and I do believe they have a place. I know some people were kind of. I remember when the When They See Us documentary came out that Ava DuVernay directed.
Yeah.
I was very vocal and said I think this needs to be shown in classrooms.
Okay.
Because it dealt with something that was very real and that still happens. I don't think people need to be so far removed from the reality of these situations. So all that to say, yeah. Slave movies have a place.
I hate slave movies, man.
You don't like them?
I can't. I get it. We were slaves.
Mhm,
I get it. I
mhm.
get it. But like, there's not like I get people redo types of movies, like you were saying about Moonfall. You have all of your aliens and stuff like that,
Right,
but it's just like with slavery, it's like we get it already, man. Like we
right.
were slaves, we were free. People, you got the Underground Railroad, like they had the Harriet Tubman movie that came out. Skip right over that one. It's to a point now, and people might not like this. I kind of laugh at some slave movies. Like
I mean, some
I
of it
make
is
light of it
funny.
because it's just like, man, I'm not finna sit here and be traumatized and
Right.
heartbroken and crying. I'm gonna try to make my best of this situation.
Right.
And like I'm not gonna say who, but I watched 12 Years a Slave with somebody that I was expecting for them to be like serious the whole time. Like going into
Mhm.
watching this movie
Right.
is an older gentleman. I was like, man, this is gonna be wow. They finna make this all like deep. And from the jump, he started cracking jokes, and I was like, "That's what I'm talking about. Let's make
Right.
light." Like
Right.
slave. It's like it's just like, man, I know my trauma. I know what happened. I don't want to keep
Right.
reliving it over and over. My favorite slave movie is the Slave Rebellion movie. I think the guy name was like Nate Turner or something like that. Nate
Mhm.
Robinson. No, that's a basketball player. The
I
guy
think
who
I
did
know what
the
you.
guy who did the movie, he got canceled like right when the movie came out because he had like some sexual assault allegations or something like that.
Yes.
I
Oh
can't
my
think of his
goodness.
name.
He
It's
was
Nate something.
in. It was the movie with Terrence Howard and Bernie Mac. They were on the swimming team. Pride.
Right. Okay.
Yes, it was. He was. What was his name? Nate Parker.
Nate Parker.
Nate Parker. Yes, the birth
The
of the
Birth of a
nation.
Nation.
Yep.
That's my favorite
Yep.
slave
The
movie.
Nat Turner. Yep. 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 Yep.
And I was just
Um,
like, they canceled my man after that. And that movie kind of just, yeah, because of that. But that's the only one I would watch and not have a problem with. I've never seen Roots
and it
either.
was
So
good.
maybe that's the issue too.
Now, honestly, I have never sat down and watched that particular Roots movie in its entirety.
Entire.
Like,
It's long as shit. It's
no,
like
just mm-mm.
those
Like I
movies.
know what happens. I read a lot of books and stuff like that. I know what's happened during that time period. I have a lot of personally owned books over 40 and stuff like that in my library in my room right now, but I'm not about to sit there and watch Roots. Um, mm-mm. um,
No, I don't want to relive that.
no,
Like, I don't. I don't.
but I will say I do still believe they have a place. That's just like with any genre of a movie or TV
Yeah.
show. It has a space and a people that need to see it. And it's people that I wouldn't say they enjoy those type of movies. It's not like I'm not doing anything today. Let me just turn
Oh,
on
Roots.
this. Yeah, like let me just turn that on because I don't have anything
Date
else to
night watching
watch.
Roots is wild. Like have a
Yeah,
date.
like I don't know anybody that's doing that. But for the larger conversation of I need to know where this is, I need to know when this happened. Yeah, yeah. I think it serves a purpose in the space of art. Mhm.
Gotcha. We got off top of my fault, man. Let's get back to
No,
it.
you good. This is
Big
good.
big plans, big plans. What big plans do you have coming up here in the next year, next 6 months? What can we look forward to when it comes to you, man?
Yeah, just more new reviews. Um I think with my style of reviews, some of them are in video form, and
Mhm.
then others are written form, like a short summary. So you can expect more of both daily. Yeah,
And
that's
what's
it.
the end goal? Like, what's the end goal for you? Like, what's the thing that you want to reach?
hmm Honestly, it's really been the same goal since I first started, just to create conversation about art, so that when you think about a movie or a TV show, or even a soundtrack to a movie or TV show, because I am a musician
Mhm.
and I relate to a lot of the movie soundtracks and TV soundtracks. Initially, I'm going in to hear the soundtrack because I've always said even the worst movie can have some of the best soundtrack. Um, case in point, um, there was an X-Men movie, The Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, yeah, that movie wasn't that great.
The movie was really cringy. They had a man in a wheelchair walking up the stairs. That was weird. I don't. I was like, this is weird. I don't know what they
Well,
thought
they were
was
thinking with this one.
Professor Xavier. I'm like, is he walking in the? I was like, this is weird. But Hans Zimmer score in that movie,
Mhm.
literally, like, if you look through my Apple Music, you'll see a lot of movie soundtracks and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
The movie soundtrack was amazing. The movie was trash. So yeah, that's what you'll see. Just more reviews. And I want to be like your daily reminder. Like, hey, this movie that you may have seen or maybe you haven't seen, is
Or
available, and you
you're
should watch it.
You're already there for me because I go through your page like, okay, what are we gonna watch tonight?
I appreciate that. I
And I
appreciate that,
slide
brother.
through and see what I now. This is another question that's coming off the cuff. What's your favorite soundtrack for a movie?
Mm. If we're talking
Lion King,
animated
right?
movies,
Lion King, the original Lion King.
definitely The Lion King.
That's my favorite one.
And
I know
an
every
honorary mention, The Prince of Egypt.
the Prince of Egypt. Man, see, I knew
Yeah,
that's man. I knew you're my friend.
yeah,
You're my friend. Prince
yeah,
of Egypt is one of the greatest animated movies ever,
yeah.
man. It don't get enough love. Before we go out of here, man, I want to I've had a good time with you, man. And of
Hmm.
course, I said we was going to talk for this amount of time. We definitely ran over that time because I enjoy conversations with you, man.
Absolutely, same,
But
same here, bro.
as we wrap up here, can you leave the people with the quote, a story, a moment, just some words of wisdom, please?
Yeah. I would say to everybody that's ever doubted their worth, or even considered ending their life. And I'm very sensitive with that right there because there's been a lot of creatives that have taken themselves out the last few years.
Yeah.
And it's really disturbed me. Um, I would say we need you here. Like your community needs you here. Wherever local context you live in, South Carolina, on the East Coast, West Coast, wherever you're watching this at, people need you to be here because you cannot create if you're not here. Um,
It's true.
so just I would say to keep living intentionally, and know that there are people that care about you. Seriously, and into every creative, please keep creating. Those spontaneous moments you get where you want to create, push into that. Owning your, as my therapist always tells me, own your truth, whatever your truth is. Live in that space, um, and create from that space. And if nobody's told you, I love you, and I mean it. I don't even have to know you to extend that.
Oh
So
yeah.
I genuinely mean that because I don't think people hear that enough, and I think that's why people. Um, I think that's why people take themselves out early because they don't hear those words. So yeah, just keep creating, man. Keep creating, please, 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 please.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for your time.
Hmm.
Before I go, I don't know if I've told you this before, but I like your glasses, man. I
Oh,
like your
thank you so
glasses.
much.
Like I don't have the confidence to wear those glasses, but you pull it off, and I love those glasses, man. I just wanted to tell you that. I don't know if I told you that yet, but
No, no.
I have to
I
take
get
this.
that like every day because they're like when I went to get my glasses for my prescriptions and stuff, my doctor he was like, "Well, we have a list here." I was like, "No, just give me my measurements, and I'm gonna put my measurements in on this app. It's called Zeelool, Zeelool. You can put in your prescriptions, your sizes, and all that, and they'll put this prescription in and they'll mail it to you. And that's
Yeah,
where I got
that's what I
these
do.
from.
I do that
Yeah,
with Zenny Optical. I go to Zenny and get
nice.
mine that way. But
Yeah,
yeah, I've seen those on Zenny, and I'm like, nah, I don't have the confidence. I don't have the
you should
confidence
do it, bro.
for
You
that. But
should
I
do it.
love those glasses. But thank you for your time. Thank you
Yes,
for your
sir.
words of wisdom. Thank you for sharing your story with our listeners and viewers, man. And
No
I wish
problem.
you the best of luck. You got my support all the way through. Like I just
Thank
said a
you.
couple minutes ago, I go through and I scroll. I text you from time to time. You tell me
Yes,
shows.
sir.
I put them on my watch list. Today I've
You
written
do.
down 2 shows. So listen, you keep the television on in this household, man. So
I
thank you for your time. Thank you
appreciate
for
it, bro.
everything. And man, hey, keep going. Keep going.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Thank you.